Welcome back. You might have noticed that we've been talking a lot about women this month. That's because it's Women's History Month, but that's not all that March represents. In fact, it's also Developmental Disability Awareness Month, and there is a celebration locally, and we're talking more about the agency, where to find the celebration this morning. The Developmental Disabilities Planning Council, or the DDPC's Executive Director, John Block, is here, and their program manager, Daniel Ekman. So glad to have you guys this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Adam.
Nice to have you here early. Let's talk about the program. What exactly is DDPC?
DDPC is for developmental disabilities. It started out in the early 90s. It's a state agency, and it's expanded to also include the Center for Self-Advocacy and the Guardianship Program.
So it's quite a collective of agencies. There are quite a collective of ideas. What programs specifically do you work with, Daniel?
So our program, the New Mexico Center for Self-Advocacy, works with young adults with disabilities, and what we do is we provide them leadership training, but we don't just provide it by telling them, okay, here's what self-advocacy is, now go do it. We give them some practical experience by letting them work with graduate students from UNM, doing their own PowerPoints, and then they get to practice their public speaking. And we also go to schools throughout the state, and we do presentations on various disability issues. As far as programs we collaborate with, we work with all sorts of different programs. The Arc of New Mexico, Disability Rights New Mexico, we work with Parents Reaching Out, just a myriad of schools, as I mentioned. So we work with any organization that's working on advocacy issues for people with disabilities.
Sounds like some of this is geared towards educating people about developmental disabilities as well.
Exactly, yes, and educating the people with disabilities about the potential that they do have.
So March is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. What exactly does that mean? Is it nationwide? What do you hope people know about this month and remember?
Right, this is an initiative by the NACDD, the National Association of Centers on Developmental Disabilities. And nationwide, there's different programs or projects going on nationwide. In New Mexico, we have, thanks to the Senate, had Senate Memorial 37, which makes March 2015 the Disability Awareness Month. With Developmental Disability Awareness Month, we have our celebration on the 30th, where we have different programs going on. We're going to have Jim Parker, who's going to do disability awareness or a history of New Mexico disability. We're going to have the Center for Self-Advocacy do a presentation, and also our self-advocates doing their presentation. So
all in one day?
All in one day. Starting out at 9, 11, and 3, and then at 3 o'clock we'll have the full celebration of kind of a reception type in our offices.
And Daniel, who's invited to come to all of this?
Everyone. It's a community event. In fact, it's fitting because the theme is side by side, which is basically showing how people with developmental disabilities are contributing to their communities and how they really are, in many ways, a big part of the fabric of our communities. So what better chance to show it than to have a public event where everyone is invited and everybody is welcome to see what we're doing, to meet some of the people we work with, because there's some incredible people in our programs, and just to get an idea about people with developmental disabilities in the state.
How many people would you guess that your program has helped in this state, not only through education, but maybe in finding jobs and that kind of thing?
It would be, we have a banner where we proclaim proudly that we've served about 20,000 people through our various programs, and we have a myriad of different services. I would say it's in the thousands per year, because as you said, it's not just training or advocacy work. It's also through the guardianship program, where they find guardians for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford them, or even just people that want to answer questions about guardianship, or they want to answer questions about where they could find resources. And then we also will partner up, and we're very proud of this, with local community organizations and help fund them. So I was just actually at an event yesterday with a group called the Jimenez Vocational Rehabilitation Council, and it was a disability awareness event, so we help fund that. So that's just an example of some of the events that we participate in.
And people that have questions, I imagine this is the event to go to, right, on the 30th?
Yes, exactly. And it'll be at our offices at 625 Silver, Suite 100. So.
And an all-day event, right? Starts at what time and ends at what time?
9 o'clock until probably about 5 or 6.
Okay, so this is with Developmental Disabilities Planning Council, again on March 30th, begins at 9 a.m. The reception's at 3, so that kind of gives you an idea of the timeline. Where can people get more information if they want to get attendance information?
You can visit our website, www.ddpc.state.nm.us, or you can call at 841-4519.
Sounds good. John Block, Daniel Ekman, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it, and good luck with the celebration. We'd love to hear about it, more
Okay.
about it.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Adam.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.